Hey, friends. Welcome back to the Morning Pour and happy 4th of July weekend. So, this 4th of July, homes across the country are going to be filled with people, backyard barbecues, fireworks, house guests, and family. I've always loved holidays because they give us a reason to gather. We celebrate traditions, milestones, and this weekend, our country. But the older I get, the more I realize my favorite memories rarely revolve around the event itself. They're almost always about the people that I'm sitting with, the conversations that lasted longer than expected, and the feeling of being welcomed. As I was getting my house ready this weekend for a couple of friends who are coming to stay, I found myself thinking about hospitality. Not the kind that's picture perfect or Pinterest worthy, but the ordinary kind. The kind that quietly says, I'm really glad you're here. And it made me wonder if we've accidentally made hospitality more complicated than it was ever meant to be. And if you're anything like me, you know that getting ready isn't just about vacuuming and making the bed. It's thinking, do they have enough towels? Maybe I should put a bottle of water in the room. I hope they feel comfortable. And I catch myself thinking about all these little details because I genuinely want them to feel at home. As I was cleaning this week, I started thinking, I don't think I learned hospitality as an adult. I think I watched it growing up. My dad was a pastor, and we regularly had missionaries and guests stay at our house. Sometimes that meant I gave up my bedroom. Now, as a kid, I actually thought it was kind of fun because I get to sleep somewhere else in the house. It felt like an adventure. Looking back now, I realize something else was happening. My parents were quietly teaching us that our home wasn't just for us. It was a place to welcome other people. The older I get, the more I think we've made hospitality feel too big. We picture elaborate dinner parties, a perfectly clean house, Pinterest-worthy decorations, the right recipes, the right table setting. But I actually don't think that's what people remember. I think people remember how they felt when they walked through the door. Did they feel like they were inconveniencing you? Or will they realize you are genuinely glad they came? And there is a huge difference. It makes me think of the times that I have been hosted. From anywhere out of the country to a friend's house. The moments that I just felt so comfortable and at home within their home. It's the extra steps of hospitality that I really appreciate. And I think I have to clarify here because it's never been something elaborate or over the top. It's been the simple things, like a mint on my pillow or a water by my bedside. It's very simple, but it shows that they thought through the whole process. And I think hospitality is really just making room. Sometimes that's making room in your home, but other times it's actually making room in your schedule, making room in conversations, and sometimes it's just noticing the person standing by themselves and walking over and saying, hello. Hospitality isn't always a place, it's a posture. It's living in a way that says, there's room for you here. And don't we all want to feel that? And of course, I have a faith connection here. Because when I think of hospitality, I think about Jesus. He was constantly making room for people. People who were overlooked, who felt out of place, who didn't think they belonged. He welcomed them before he expected anything from them. And I wonder if that's part of what ordinary hospitality looks like today. Not perfection, presence, not entertaining, but making people feel seen. Hospitality doesn't always have to look like inviting someone to stay at your house, but maybe it does. Or maybe it's inviting someone to coffee, saving them a seat, introducing them to someone new, sending the text you've been thinking about, looking up when someone walks into the room. The ordinary things usually end up becoming the memorable ones. Making room for someone else doesn't just change their day. Maybe it changes yours too. So, here's your one sip and one tip this week. Look for one ordinary opportunity to make room for someone else. Not because your house is perfect, and not because everything is ready, but because people rarely remember the condition of a room. They remember how they felt inside it. Take what you need, leave what you don't, and I'll meet you right back here next week for another sip. Oh yeah, one more thing before you go. Since it's the 4th of July weekend, here's a fun fact for you. This year marks America's 250th birthday. That's because 250 years ago, in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was adopted, setting the course for what would become the United States. And here's the part that always amazes me. The copy of the Declaration of Independence that's on display today isn't the one people actually signed on the 4th of July. Most of the delegates signed the famous handwritten copy weeks later, on August 2nd, 1776. So while we're celebrating with fireworks and cookouts this weekend, we're also celebrating an pretty incredible milestone: 250 years of history. However you're spending the weekend, I hope it's filled with people who make you feel at home. Happy 4th of July, friends.